Hello and welcome to the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast, where we believe most high net worth individuals and those who help them, they struggle with clarifying their capital gains tax deferral options. Not having a clear plan is the enemy, and using a proven tax deferral strategy such as the Deferred Sales Trust is the best way for you to defer millions of dollars in capital gains tax on the sale of cryptocurrency, real estate, save a failed 1031 exchange, a business sale, so you can create and preserve more wealth or help your clients do the same. Hey, my name is Brett Swarts, and each episode I'm joined by some of the best real estate, financial, wealth, crypto, sometimes stock and trading experts in the world, where they share their ideas, deal stories, and inspiration. So together we can make complex tax deferral strategies simple and passive income plans achievable. We're also streaming on expertcresecrets.com. By the way, we are excited to announce this new book that is coming out. Check it out, everybody, if you're seeing it on YouTube. It's the Building a Tax Deferral Exit Strategy, the proven playbook for unlocking your ideal wealth plan when selling assets of any kind for yourself or for your clients. We have some awesome people like Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank will be in the book, and other amazing people that are going to be sharing their wisdom about all things deferring tax, building wealth, buying real estate. And so I'm excited about that. Look for that to release here in the next 30 days. But today, I'm most excited about our guest. He's out of the great state of Tennessee, originally from Florida, and he's considered one of the leading global minds on stock market education. He serves as the CEO of Real Life Trading and the founder of nonprofit RL Foundation. He acutely recognizes trends and patterns in the stock market, and via private mentorship, he helps others understand how to make the mental shift to trade the financial market successfully, whether in stocks, futures, options, or entrepreneurship, or even cryptocurrencies that he's going to talk about today as well. Jeremy understands how to bring financial liberation to the forefront and so much more. Please welcome to with me, Jerremy Newsome. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing, brother, man?
Brett, my man, I'm amped, brother. How are you?
Hey, better than I deserve. Excited to have you on the show. For our listeners getting to know you for the first time, would you give them a
Thanks.
little bit more about your story and your current focus?
Yeah, man. So my background and my, 30-second elevator pitch, I was raised in a single wide trailer treehouse. I grew up in a cult. I escaped that cult at the age of 24. I became a liquid millionaire by 28, lost it 3 times in 3 separate tragic incidences. And I currently teach current and future world leaders about the stock and crypto market and how they can use it for their benefit.
That is maybe a book or two or three, and perhaps you have one. If you don't, I'm sure it's coming out. We can make that into a movie, brother, man. That
Oh,
sounds
thanks,
very
dude.
exciting.
Yeah.
Cool. We might touch on some of that here later on, but we're talking all things meta, crypto, real estate investing, right? And the metaverse, using cryptocurrency. We'll talk about some trading, some cryptocurrency,
Yep.
as well as kind of this new thing of investing in the metaverse, buying real estate that's in the metaverse, all those kind of things here in a minute. But before we go there, I do want to take one other step back, right? Go back to your high school days, the earlier days. I believe we've all been given certain gifts, Jeremy, in this life, and these gifts have been given to us to be a blessing and help to others. Some people call them strengths, some people call them superpowers. Uh, I believe they're God-given gifts. They've been given to us to be a blessing to others. So, what are those one or two gifts, strengths, superpowers that you believe you were given, and how does that help how you help and bless people today?
What a question, dog. Man, thank you. I would say my gift, my superpower is turning extremely complex subjects and communicating them effectively and simplicity. That's generally been my skill set. And that's only because I learn a little bit slower than most people. So I have to kind of reiterate and reverberate the information for me to learn. And I have to take that and kind of assimilate it into something that makes sense for me. And through doing that, I've been able to help people understand more or less complex subjects pretty quickly.
That's awesome. Taking the
Yeah.
complex, making it simple, which leads perfectly into things that can be pretty complex with meta, crypto, real estate investing. So, Jeremy, what's the number one secret from everything you've been able to glean so far to being able to successfully invest with cryptocurrency and or the metaverse with real estate investing?
Well, it's going to have to be time. Time is going to be the key. What I've seen far too many people do is try to get excessively rich excessively quick. And I think we all know, especially, and by the way, man, I cannot wait to get your book. Please let me know when it comes out. I will buy it immediately. That's going to be so good. That's going to be such a good read. But the get rich slowly tactic works extremely well and almost, I would say, in every market. Same with crypto. Time is your friend. You have to buy assets to expand your wealth. And these assets can be real estate, digital real estate, just like a website. They can be cryptocurrencies. They can be cryptocurrencies that are used in video games or in the metaverse or in virtual reality. But you still need time on your side, patience. Don't press the gas pedal too hard. Don't be too ridiculous and don't be too insane. But a tip 1A, right? If that's number one secret, number 1A is anyone can get involved with any amount of money. That's a big one because many people feel, okay, well, Bitcoin's at 40,000. I have to have at least $40,000 to get into Bitcoin or get into other cryptocurrencies. And the answer is no. You can get in, you can trade it actively. You can be a real market participant with hundreds of dollars if you want to, which is intriguing because anyone listening to this has that type of capital. And you would be able to get in, to get involved, and to be able to grow that capital using your brain, which is, in my opinion, the best thing that anyone can do.
Excellent. So those two things, the get rich slowly tactic, right?
Yep.
Which is realizing that it's not going to be easy and overnight, but
Yep.
if you can get educated and if you can start practicing and flexing the muscle and using the muscle of investing is really what it comes down to. And by the way, anyone can get involved. We can all start trading and doing these things. It's about doing that. Is that a fair summary so far?
100%, my man.
So what's number two?
Number two would be do it. Like you mentioned, get involved. It's not scary. It's not for the extremely computer locked, right? I don't have handcuffs. I'm not tied to my computer. I can move in and out, do whatever I want to do anytime. That's one of the things I love the most about liquid markets is that you can take advantage of a 30% move in an hour. That is possible. I know it sounds insane, but with crypto, that is achievable. It's not something that's going to happen every day. But if you want to buy $100,000 worth of a token and that token has a 30% increase in 7 hours and you end up selling it, you have the ability to do that very easily, very fluidly, without phone calls, without stress, without refunds, without customers. The cash flow opportunities in crypto trading is exceptional, splendid, and just honestly almost unparalleled.
Yeah, so let's talk about that, right? Because high risk, potentially, right, for some of these things, especially these wild swings.
Yep.
So and you come from a stock market background, perhaps maybe you can share a
Yep.
little bit more about that with our listeners, and then an understanding and seeing trends, right, and be able to read graphs, and that's what you're doing full time, and you're helping others do that as well.
Right.
So walk us through how that parallels and maybe the most commonly misunderstood thing about trading crypto in the way that you trade stocks.
Let's do it. I love that. It boils down, Brett, to second grade math. That's going to be the really big key in this. Let's break it down, and I will use, it doesn't matter if it's a stock or a crypto. Let's just say a liquid asset. And let's say for this example, this liquid asset is trading 130 US dollar value per asset unit. And if that is trading at 130 US dollar per asset unit, and you bought 100 of those units, your investment is $13,000. However, with a $13,000 investment, could you only lose 100 US dollars if you were wrong on that trade, on that investment? And the answer is absolutely. So even buying 100 units of that asset, doesn't matter if it's AMD or Solana, right? A stock versus cryptocurrency. If you buy 100 units and you place a stop loss $1 lower than where you got in, you are only risking $100. And if your upside is larger than that, so let's say your upside is $5, $10, $15, then you're risking $1 to make $15, which is a phenomenal risk reward. So it's not gambling. And that's what a lot of people feel crypto, Bitcoin, active trading, day trading, they feel like it is gambling because they've heard stories that people have lost all their money doing it. And right before this podcast, you were talking about your specialty and how you've helped thousands of people understand how to properly use their leverage and use their money so they don't go bankrupt and do anything insane and stupid. So when you're talking about trading, yes, can it be gambling? Of course. Right? I like to gamble. Full disclosure, I do like going to casinos. I like playing roulette. I like going to the blackjack table. I like losing money, or I love making money. So I can go into a casino with a risk amount of money that I'm comfortable losing, just like in trading, and you can come up with a system and a mathematical strategy to win consistently.
Got it. Right. That's stop loss. I think most people, they hear the horror stories, or they're not they made all their money in real estate, or they made it only in the stock market, and it's that lack, or and haven't made it in crypto, and so their lack of clarity in each marketplace, and realizing that you can put stop losses in place, it can help demystify this whole thing
Yeah,
of it's only gambling. Is that a fair summary so far?
absolutely, man. And it's not leveraged. So, for example, if you put in $10,000 into crypto, that's it. So if that particular crypto went to zero, your risk is $10,000. But generally, stocks, options, and foreign currency trading can be very easily leveraged, which leverage is a double-edged sword. Works great when it's working. It doesn't work good when it's not working.
Cool. So
And
now let's get into the meta crypto real estate investing, and
oh
bring these
yes,
things together, right? So this
yes,
thing, it's so hot right now, right? Mr. Zuckerberg came out and he's changed Facebook name to Meta. You know,
crazy.
EXP Commercial has been in the metaverse for a while with how they do all of their systems, and EXP Residential, which is also a company that I'm a part of. And so walk us through this whole idea of where you see this going for trading and investing, and also just the basic understanding of it, because some of our listeners are probably hearing about this for the first time.
Most, I would say 99.9% of your listeners are going to hear about this for the first time. That's okay. So the metaverse, what the is it? Well, here we go. Video games. That's what the metaverse is. So imagine the universe. All right. We all are familiar with the universe. Universe is the solar system, the galaxies, the stars, the planets, all those things. The metaverse is the exact same thing, but in a digital world. So the metaverse is not one place specifically, it is an amalgamation of places. So you can have different planets in the universe, you can have different video games, different locations, and different spots, if you will, inside of the metaverse. What's truly intriguing about it thus far, virtual reality and video games have been around forever, right? Very, very frequently. But what's truly interesting is the decentralization of these video games and these opportunities. Right now, if you wanted to, let's say, Brett, you want to put an advertisement for your book or for my book, Money Grows on Trees, on a video game billboard. We have to contact the video game company. We have to get approval. We have to really go up the ladder. We probably have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this is one of the reasons why Microsoft made a bid to buy Activision, by the way, for $67 billion. That's billion with an L. And that's a big deal, right? So you have to go up really, really, really high up the ladder, and you may or may not get that advertising exposure that you want. Inside the metaverse, it becomes very easy for any company to make an advertisement, to create their own land, to create their own building, to create their own location, where these players, these individuals interacting with each other can go to those locations, right? And take advantage of parties, seminars. They're playing a video game. They're having fun inside this digital virtual world that you don't have to wear the Oculus. You don't have to wear the goggles. You can just play it just like a normal video game on your TV or on your computer. And when you're doing that, you're able to interact with other human beings in the world, talk with them, chat with them, have fun with them. And with the children, with the kids these days, the way it is, right? You and I, Brett, probably went outside and jumped bicycles, ramps, and fell over and skinned our elbows. But kids love interacting with video games right now. There's nothing wrong with that. But that trend is not going to go away ever. So this is going to be a very, very intriguing aspect for social groups to join each other in the future.
Yeah, it's really fascinating, and I grew up in the '80s. I like this. Well, '83 is when I was born, so it was before the internet, right? And it was kind of like really kind of before the computer, and then after. We kind of have a hybrid where we knew a lot more about computers and stuff than our parents did, but we also remember when there was no cell phones and there was no, so we're kind of that hybrid, place in
Yeah.
between
Yeah.
worlds. Whereas you're right, all of the new kids now, I mean, my kids, I got 5 kids, like they don't know nothing without, they Wi-Fi is water, right?
Yeah.
Pads and computers is it's second nature to them. It's so, and so, yeah, it is the future. It's happening. And so, what are the opportunities for those who want to invest? I hear that about advertising, right? But walk through, I mean, like the central land, right? And these different
Yeah.
places where you can actually buy plots of land. So now
Yep.
bring it full circle. Like if somebody's going, yeah, I see that it's the future. How do I actually make money on this? And how do I know I'm not, buying the worst property at a location that I know I shouldn't be going to?
Sure, totally. And that's gonna be a fun challenge regardless. So there's not gonna be one easy, super blanket answer, but I can definitely say this. The goal is for you to have some vision of what you're doing with this land because it's the exact same as digital real estate right now that a lot of people are familiar with, aka a website. So Brett, let's say me and you create a website, Brett and Jeremy dominatetheworld.com. And we put in tons of money, we put in a lot of energy inside of it. We create a product and nothing ever sells. No one ever goes there because it's dumb and there's no real good marketing and there's no real good branding. There's no good mission, all that fun stuff, right? Well, that's the exact same thing as if someone invested into Decentraland. So there is a video game. There's a location. It says one of the planets, if you will, inside of the metaverse. It's called decentraland.org. You can go there right now. I'm not getting paid to advertise them, but if you go there, type it in, you build an avatar and you play around in this little land, and you can go to specific addresses and locations. Maybe Snoop Dogg's having a concert. One of my really good buddies is an artist and he has an art venue, an actual location where people can go inside the metaverse and check out his art. So when you're building these locations, you have to pay a developer, right? Generally, someone who knows programming and coding, you have to pay them money to build you your own location. Very similar, like if you're not super tech savvy and you can't build your own website like me, yeah, you circulate your money to someone else, have them build a location, and then you have to drive traffic to it. So there's another one that's coming out that's very new that I love a lot. I actually connected with some of the developers extremely recently, and it's called Portals. Portals is built on the Solana blockchain, and this metaverse location is designed for like a classroom experience. So their goal is to make it very, very easy for anyone. Like, well, let's say, Brett, you want to teach tax deferred strategies. You can host an event inside the metaverse. Now, is that different than using Zoom? Not really, but it makes it gamey. It's intriguing. There's things that you can do, and it makes it very interactive. But you can also brand the whole thing, make it look really, really clean. There's a lot of fun things you can do inside of it, and just it's just like it's a new gimmick essentially, but if you're driving the traffic to it and you know what the vision is of behind it, it can work.
Absolutely, and I don't take this for granted now that I have 5 kids, and they love this game, and I'll release the game here in a second. But I want to start with a story, and this is the story. One of the Netflix CEOs or top of Netflix was in an interview, and this is about a year ago, and he's asked, what's the headwind? What's the thing you're most concerned about? I mean, Apple at this point, Apple's coming out with their new TV streaming service. You know, of course, there's Amazon Prime has their video. There's all these other things that are streaming all of this content. Is it YouTube? And he goes, you know what? It's none of those. You know the one he's most concerned about? And it's this one game that I think is close to the metaverse and also the movie Ready Player One. It's a game called Fortnite. And this was shocking for a lot of the people who are listening to this, that it's coming from the top media company, arguably in the world, in the history, fastest growing in the history, is taking over everything, right? So in so many ways. And he says Fortnite. And then I'm like, Fortnite? And my kids all of a sudden were kind of telling me about it. And so I jump on there and I'm playing with them. You know, part of it I'm kind of like searching to see if it's going to be okay, if it's going to be too violent. You
Yep.
know, is this thing, or who are they interacting with? And all of a sudden I find myself like, well, this is actually pretty fun. I find myself like in a car picking up my daughters, right? And we're racing around, and they're dressed in these funny outfits or these different avatars, and they're building these things, and I was just having a lot of fun with them, and we're competition, right? I'm saying, hey, we got to beat them now. You know, I found myself going back to the sports days, and I'm teaching them, like, you know, communication and teamwork, and they're like, you know, 8, 9, and 11, and we're having a ball doing this together, and it clicked. Like, that is the future. And now they're taking it to a whole nother level. Any thoughts on that?
You are spot on, my man. Spot on. Because so Facebook bought Oculus 4 or 5 years ago. And when they did it, that was kind of my vision, was they're taking Facebook and they own Instagram. I'm sure everyone knows that. And they own WhatsApp. I'm sure everyone knows that. They're working on creating an experience when you log into Instagram or Facebook, right? So imagine you being able to go and interact with the picture that the person sees. You can make your own marks on it. You can design your own things. It's a very, very interesting subject to sit down and talk about, but especially from a marketing, from a business perspective, there's gonna be a lot of opportunities here, I think, to drive specific traffic. Now, all that being said, is all of this hype a little too much? Are we a little bit of a high, a little bit of a bubble-ish thing right now? And I think, yes, like on a very, very short-term level. So this is one of those like blips that a lot of people are talking about this, and it's going to cool down for a little bit, and people are going to stop talking about it. And that's when people like you and myself, Brett, and probably a lot of other individuals who are always chasing that constant, never-ending improvement. We're going to go grind and figure out how to implement this future ideal to find our customers, but also to interact with our family members, right? To have dinners together as a family, maybe in virtual reality, maybe on the TV, maybe on your phones, whatever. But being able to do things that are just kind of cool, kind of nifty in a way to really get all generations involved. That's that's exciting. That's fun. Like why fight the future?
Separation of people and businesses and interacting, physical interaction. And so it's kind of a perfect storm. So I agree with you. There could be a little bit of a thing here, but at the same time, some people didn't think the computer was going to work out or the internet wasn't going to change anything, right? And you know, we know where that has gone. And so um, it's really interesting. Okay, so any last thoughts? Are you investing in crypto? And if so, how are you doing that? You know, what's kind of the overall strategy for you? Maybe let's say someone has $1 million in real estate and they're like, oh, I can sell really high right now, and you're, you
Yeah.
know, go back into crypto. What would be kind of any thoughts or on that?
Love it, man. So three essential thoughts. There is something out there called swing trading. Most people are very familiar with the term day trading, but swing trading is where you buy something a day and sell it 3, 4 weeks later, 4 months later. I think it's extremely important to get education and get information and get experience on active liquid market trading because it's one of the best 5 skills to create massive, massive income streams for yourself. Let's say you have $1 million in real estate, you want to sell high and lock some trading in. You can do some serious damage with $100,000 in crypto, right? You can go long, you can go short. Short meaning you're making money on the downside. One of the strategies that I use is an accumulation strategy. So as simple as it can be, take some of your income that you're making right now from whatever earned income and take that income and directly buy Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Matic with it. Those are 3 crypto picks for you, for all of my Brett Swarts fans. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Matic. And just buy those on a reoccurring basis, right? You can set it up where you buy those on a daily basis, a weekly basis, the 1st and 15th of the month, monthly basis, whatever you want, and just drip in it. Buy an asset over time, regardless of the price. Close your eyes, don't do anything, and just continue to invest because the trend signifies massive growth and Newton's law. What is in motion tends to stay in motion. I have been doing that on cryptocurrencies since 2015 and 2016. And it's worked out really, really well. And there's going to be many other currencies that are going to be able to be very useful, very versatile, very exciting. They're going to have a real utilization of very specific utility. So Brave, for example, there's a browser. I'm using it right now to be attached to this. Brave browser is a decentralized browser, and they pay users. I'm getting paid $1 to do this for you, by the way, my man.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
the Brave, yeah, bro. The Brave browser pays its users to interact with people and to use their services. And they do it in something called BAT, which is a basic attention token, BATUSD. You can buy this. And so that's a very intriguing utility for that particular token. And that token has increased in value. It's gone from $1, Brett, to $1.50, which is a 50% return 9 different times in the last 7 months. 9. That's remarkable. So if you take $100,000 and just bought nothing other than basic attention token and made a 50% return 9 times, if you're doing the math, it's a significant, significant amount of money, over $400,000. And that's what I love about this game.
Wow. So now let's transition to the next part, right? You buy low and you go to sell high, and you're faced with this huge capital gains tax. In fact, we just helped a Bitcoin and Ethereum client, separate clients. She bought Bitcoin for 50,000. Well, guess what it went to, Jeremy? $50 million. Okay, she never sold. In fact, she never sold it because of the tax until she found us, and then she was able to trade or transfer to the trust, sell, defer the tax, and now she's got wealth to move onto a next business venture, all tax deferred. We think it's the best kept secret. It's a Netflix way of exiting these highly appreciated assets. But I'm curious, what's been the biggest frustration for you or your students when it comes to selling and exiting and deferring capital gains tax?
That, bro, taxes. That's why I'm here, right? I'm going to be sharing this with so many people, and they're all going to get your book, and they're all going to become clients and contacts of yours because, I mean, taxes are a big piece of it. However, there are ways, as you mentioned, to defer taxes indefinitely on crypto sales. Essentially, cold storage is one way. Different exchanges, transferring to different people, having it different places. It's very fast, right? It's all decentralized, and right now there is a lot of that movement going on. I mean, buying NFTs, it can be a way to park your asset, right? Because it's not a sale. You're not selling it. You're converting it. And having 1031 exchanges available at some point in the future for cryptos will be extremely exciting. I'm very, very pumped for option capability with cryptocurrencies. I know that'll happen at some point. There's a lot of fun stuff coming, man. And I highly encourage everyone to understand a little bit more about taxes. I mean, because right, that's the silent killer. Essentially, for any wealth appreciation is taxes. And you can buy art, it can be digital art, you can have a failing business on the side. You know what? Brett doesn't make very good hamburgers. Unfortunately, he tries, but that business doesn't really do that well. So Brett's Burger sucks, but he has a failing business, and over here he has a very profitable business. There's a lot of other things you can do, and I'm sure that you're the biggest specialist on this in the world, and that's one reason I'm here. But without question, man, that is a frustration a lot of people have. That's a fear that most people have, and if you can figure it out, learn, get the right strategies, it makes it all worth it.
Thank you so much. And for folks who want to learn more about that, you can go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. It's capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. You can learn about the Deferred Sales Trust, download our free ebook. And we actually have a blog post on one of the clients. His name is Peter. He bought Ethereum for 100,000 and some Bitcoin, and it went to 13 million, never sold until he found us and was able to defer the tax, millions of dollars of tax. You can go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com to learn about that. That being said, are you ready for the lightning round?
Let's do it.
All right. Know what you know now, Jeremy. If you go back to your 20-year-old self, what's the one golden nugget and make sure to tell yourself to do?
Oh, I love that question. 20, I was at such a weird time of my life, man, at 21, because I was still really wrapped up in the religion and that I was essentially brainwashed, but it was what a weird time in my life. I mean, I would say if I can go back in time, love on yourself, right? A lot of people they take love and they externalize it, so they feel like they have to get approval from other people. They have to get validation from other people, and they're always seeking from others. They very, very rarely have that true inner calmness and inner love and inner appreciation themselves. And so that took me down a very rocky journey for a good 8-9 years trying to figure that piece out.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Appreciate that.
Yeah, bro.
Second question. What's the number one book you've recommended or gifted the most in the past year?
You Are a Badass at Making Money by my girl, Jen Sincero. Love that book. I freely give it away all the time. I do have a book, but she spurred my book, right? So I always got to give the OG the credit. I love Jen. She's phenomenal, and it's a great read.
Fantastic. Question number 3. What's the number one leadership quote or theme that you strive to live by?
Leadership quote or theme by Marianne Williamson. It is not our darkness that we are afraid of. It is our lights that we are powerful beyond all measure. So for me as a leader, my goal is to ensure that other individuals realize the level of abundance, the law of abundance, and understand that no candle loses its flame by lighting another. So a lot of leaders lead by scarcity and by fear and with an iron fist. And I think that there's a different way to lead. I think there's a way to lead through thoughts and abundance and love and appreciation and growth and happiness, prosperity and merriment.
Love that. Second to last question. What are you most curious about right now?
I am most curious about NFTs. That's what I've been studying that for an extremely long period of time. And I have just recently purchased a few myself. And I think it's a fascinating ideal.
We still have Jeremy here.
Yep. I'm still here. Can you hear me?
It's reconnecting.
Oh, testing. 1, 2, 3.
We're talking with Jeremy Newsome here, reallifetrading.com. I'm not sure if it's my system or his, but we are experiencing a little bit of difficulties here.
Test. 1, 2. Test.
I think we're back. We're back. All right,
All right.
NFTs, and we had a little blurb there. We had a little commercial break.
Yeah, commercial break. That was essentially what it was. I'm just very excited about NFTs. I think they're super compelling and just gonna be a phenomenal transfer of wealth in the future.
Fantastic. Last question, Jeremy, I'll let you go. After all your success and helping people create and preserve more wealth in stock trading and investing in cryptocurrencies and different things, how do you stay centered in your values, and how do you stay encouraged to charge forward to reach new heights?
How do I stay centered in my values? Constant, never-ending improvement internally. So I'm working on myself, right? I have no competition. My competition is with myself. I'm striving to become the best man, the best leader, the best husband, the best father that I can be, pouring into my masculine energy, pouring into others around me, and doing so through meditation, through ice baths, guided spiritual journeys, working with mentors who pour into both the mental, spiritual, emotional side of me, just continually filling up that vessel that I am internally.
Fantastic, Jeremy. I want to thank you for being on the show. I want to thank you for sharing so much wisdom with us. I want to encourage you to keep using the gifts of taking what's complex and making it simple and applying that to all things investing. For our listeners who want to get in touch with you, one last time, what's the best place for them to find you?
Best place for them to find me, reallifetrading.com. We have a free week next week, believe it or not. Perfect timing, very serendipitous for this. Be a part of this. Let me show you all the powerful cash flow creation you can make for your family using the liquid markets.
Fantastic. Go to reallifetrading.com, reallifetrading.com. Thanks, Jeremy, for being on the show. I also want to thank our listeners for listening to another episode of the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast. As always, we believe most high net worth individuals and those who help them, they struggle with clarifying their capital gains tax deferral options. Not having a clear plan is the enemy, and using a proven tax deferral strategy, such as the Deferred Sales Trust, is the best way for you to exit public or private stock, cryptocurrencies, businesses, real estate, primary homes, save a failed 1031 exchange, defer millions of dollars of tax so you can create and preserve more wealth, or help your clients do the same, and or getting with someone like Jerremy Newsome. By the way, it's 2 R's, the coolest thing, Jerremy, 2 R's there if you're looking him up to get a mentor or coach to help you buy a course to level up in your investing. You want to make sure you're investing in yourself and in education so you can create and preserve more wealth. We're also streaming on expertcresecrets.com. And we also want to invite you guys to check out our mastermind every Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're talking cryptocurrency, the Deferred Sales Trust, and real estate investing, and also traditional investing, and how these worlds all combined, and how the Deferred Sales Trust is that tool to give you back that thing that Jeremy actually talked about in the beginning, which was time. If you could have time to dollar cost average, tax deferred, buy low and sell high into different asset types, all tax deferred, would you want to know? Well, I think you would. And it's the Deferred Sales Trust, and it's in the book, and it's at the mastermind. So check it all out. Please rate, review, subscribe to the channel and to the podcast, and share this with somebody who can help and inspire.